you can have a very flexible schedule if you so choose. And I have two kids now. They're 9 and almost 7. At the time, they were much younger, and being a teacher, it was very difficult, especially at the middle school level, because of the hours. I would get up and be at the school before 8 o'clock every day, and wouldn't get to leave and get home to be with my kids until 5. And it didn't leave much time for me to spend with them after homework and dinner and everything like that. So I was really looking for something that I could still make some money, and at the same time I could spend more time with my family. And so that was one of the main things that really kind of got me a little bit more interested in it.
Okay. So I know you've got a couple of kids, and y'all live here locally. I believe it's in Green Tree Village, correct?
Yes. Yeah. We've lived in Green Tree for about 4 years now, just over 4 years. Before that, we lived in Oakhurst. So overall, been in the area for about 10 years, and absolutely love Green Tree. It's a great community. We're close to the Greenbelts, close to the elementary school, which my kids absolutely love. It's one of the best in the area. And, we've got a small little home, but we've made it our own, and we absolutely love it.
And your husband, Matt, he still works in the school district, doesn't he?
He does. He's still at Kingman Middle, and he teaches 8th grade U.S. history. He actually got Teacher of the Year this year, so pretty proud of him for that. And so he's still teaching, once again, hard for kids, and he's doing a great job at it.
And I know y'all are pretty connected with community through your church. What church was that?
Kingwood First Baptist.
Okay.
We've been going to that church as long as we've been in the community, so for about 10 years. And he and I are both involved in the youth group there, so we both teach Sunday school to middle school and high school students. And got a great group of friends and lots of people there that we interact with.
Awesome. So let's jump back into real estate. So you were a solo individual agent for a little while, and then you were approached by Bobby Callahan, who owns the Callahan Real Estate Group, to be a buyer's agent. So what made you make that jump from being that individual solo agent to being a buyer's agent on a mega team?
So one of the things that kind of stuck out to me, I had been in real estate for probably about a little over half a year, right at half a year on my own. I had a couple of transactions under my belt, and was doing okay. I think one of the things that attracted me to pursuing the opportunity to be a part of her team, especially with Bobby, is she was a prior educator as well. And so I knew that if I wanted to learn about the business, I knew she was extremely successful in what she was doing. If I wanted to learn about the business, learn about how to do it right, and just learn about the industry in general, that she would be one of the people that I could kind of do that with and do it quickly. And so I knew that in addition to the business that I might be able to be a part of, it was also an education thing for me as well.
Okay, and I think what most don't understand is the real estate team. I think as the general consumer, we think a real estate agent will help us with buying a home or selling a home and investing in, kind of a jack of all trades. Mm-hmm. A little bit different with a real estate team.
Right.
What exactly is your role, and how would you describe it?
So my role is a buyer specialist, and what that means is I would say about 95% or more of my business is solely working with buyers. And every now and then I will help with a listing. More than likely that's just because it's a very close friend or a family member. I love working with buyers because I still get to help educate them in the buying process. And so that's my love for teaching, is able to, move from my prior work experience to my current work experience. But as far as the differences, one of the benefits to being a part of a team and having a specific role is that you get to really specialize and focus on that role. And it's a benefit to the client because while we have a listing specialist that really focuses all their attention and efforts on selling the home, I get to do the same thing on the buying side. The clients really feel like their needs are being addressed throughout the entire process on both ends. And they don't feel like, any balls are being dropped. There's lots of communication, and they just really feel well taken care of.
So as a buyer's agent, what you're telling me is that you're a specialist that's going to give a higher level of attention, and the experience is going to be better for the customer and client.
That's correct. I'm able to focus my attention on getting to know the neighborhoods extremely well. A lot of times when I'm showing a house, I can show it to them, look at the price that it's listed at, and know right off the top of the bat whether or not it's priced correctly, or within the range of where it needs to be. And then I can also go back and confirm and actually narrow down what the actual price of the home needs to be. And so if you aren't focused on just that job, you may not have as much time to dedicate to doing all the research and familiarizing yourself with the neighborhoods. I can be talking to a potential client at an open house, and that house may not be something that is, something that's meeting their needs. However, because of my knowledge of the market, I can say, have you seen this one or this one, right off the top of my head? And a lot of times they're really impressed by that, and they appreciate it because it shows that you're valuable, and that you, like I said, know the market and the area as well.
Yeah, so you brought up open houses, and I think it's interesting you brought up that most people don't walk into an open house and buy that open house or buy that home. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, so most of the time they're coming in, and it's an opportunity for you to build a relationship, and then at that point, what do you do? So you meet them, they come in, they're interested in purchasing a home. What's that next step that you take with them?
So the next step is really developing the relationship with them. And one of the ways that we do that is by having a buyer consultation. And we find that if we start a relationship with a client or a potential client in an office setting with a consultation, it really helps strengthen that relationship from the very beginning. It helps us get to know who they are, what they're looking for in a home, what their most important priorities are. And it makes the transaction a whole lot smoother. They feel more confident in you. They feel they're loyal to you because they know that you're going to be loyal to them, and that you're going to do the right thing for them. And if you start off the relationship like that, then it makes the whole transaction a lot easier and smoother. And just because of that confidence that they have in you.
So what do clients, and I know you've probably gotten some feedback working with the number of buyers that you have, what is it that clients appreciate about hiring a buyer's agent like you to help them find their next home?
It's funny that you asked that. I don't like to, toot my own horn or brag on myself. If you ask most people around me, that's something that I kind of keep to myself. But I did have a client that I just recently finished working with, and there was a situation that arose right at the last minute, and we were closing in a matter of days, and this could have postponed the closing for days, maybe a week even. And I knew how important it was for them to move into the home and close when we needed to close. And so I just did what I needed to do as far as serving my clients to make sure that we were able to stay on track. And afterwards, whenever we finished and they had closed and everything, he just kept, sending me text message after text message about how thankful he was for me that I had bent over backwards to make it happen and to get it done. And so sometimes they come out and say it. Other times, they may not. We ask for reviews all the time, whether they're positive or negative, to make sure that if there's something that we need to improve upon, that we can have that opportunity to do so. And so I hope that kind of answered your question. Yeah,
no, it definitely did. And I think I love that sometimes it's those that are quiet and doing their job and doing the right things and doing it at a high level. You don't necessarily need to have your horn tooted.
Right.
People just know, right? It's who you are as a person and the character and the integrity that you have, not just for yourself, but for the team that you work with.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I think that's awesome. So if there's a real estate agent, maybe a buyer's agent or somebody was seeking to be a buyer's agent on a team, what would be the one piece of advice that you would give them as they're going through that process to see if that's really what they would like to do?
I think that from the outside looking in, a lot of people or some people might assume that it's an easy way to get business because everything's handed to you. And I know that, that can kind of depend upon the team that you approach or that approaches you. Personally speaking, the team that I work for, there's a very high expectation. And so, yes, there are some deals that are handed to me, I guess people might say, handed to me, people that come from a listing that Bobby has, and so I get the buying end of it because she doesn't do buyers. At the same time, we have high expectations as far as what we are supposed to be providing as well. So I have set a goal for myself to, exceed what has been provided to me. Not just, make it 50-50, but for me to bring in more business than what I've been given. And so it's extremely hard. You have to work for it on a daily basis. I have to lead in on a daily basis. I have to make sure that I am meeting a certain amount of appointments, not that are handed to me, but that I create for myself. And then I have to have a certain amount of closings that I have on a monthly basis. I've got goals for the year. So there's a lot of pressure, and it's not just a cakewalk. I think people think that, if I can get on a team, I can relax because I'll have business, more business than I know what to do with. And that's true. It's true because you have to work for it. Yeah. And
well, everybody's accountable, right?
Right. Absolutely. And so I think that's one of the things that I didn't expect that would happen for me as being a part of a team is how much it has changed me as a person. I was very, I keep to myself. I'm an introvert at heart. It's kind of painful for me to get out and talk to people and meet new people. And so, I can remember when I first started in real estate, and there was one day I was making calls on the phone, and Matt walks in, my husband, and after I got off the phone, he was like, "What are you doing?" And I said, I'm making cold calls, looking for business. And he was like, "Wow, I would never have thought that, that you would do something like that." And so it stretches you and makes you uncomfortable at times. And but it's great. I've learned more about myself in the
Awesome. So if a client is thinking about either buying a home or investing in a home, and they're looking for somebody that's a specialist in helping home buyers, why choose you? Why choose the Callahan Real Estate Group?
I think that one reason is because you are going to have somebody who's specifically dedicated to that process. We'll have buyers that are also sellers. And so they kind of get the best of both worlds. Like I said, we also have, as part of our team, we have a transaction coordinator, we have assistants, we have transaction coordinator, and did I say that twice? I think I did. Listing coordinator, transaction coordinator. And so every possible thing that can make it an easy process, we have great lenders that we recommend. And it just makes the process as smooth as possible. We all know that buying a home, selling a home can be a very rocky road. And so our goal is to not just do the bare minimum, but to go above and beyond what everyone else in the business is doing. And another one of our goals is to really develop that relationship. We're not about turning and burning deals. We're about building the relationship and developing that relationship so that you want to refer your friends and your family and your coworkers to us so that they can have that same experience. And there's clients that we sold homes to years ago that we're still in contact with, and it's just they call me up, they send me a text message, "Hey, can you give me a recommendation for this or that?" And so the team setting is extremely beneficial. And then having a buyer's agent that's working solely for your purchase, that they're an expert in what they do. And because they're able to focus that attention on only your purchase, that you're going to get the best deal possible on your home. And there's some clients we like to say that we talk people out of houses more than into homes, because we don't just want to close a deal. We want to make sure that they're going to be satisfied with that purchase and feel like they can trust us. And so if I just walk into a home, don't say anything, and they purchase a home, and a year later resale issues, that's going to leave a bad taste in their mouth towards me. And so my job is to make sure that I'm educating them along the way, and that I get the best deal possible for them, and that I've earned their trust and their loyalty, and that they'll send referrals to me after we close.
Yeah, I love that. It's definitely a relationship based versus a transactional agent that's just looking for the end outcome.
Right.
I think from the consumer side, if you're out seeking an agent today to represent you, to find somebody that's focused on building the relationship. Think about hiring a or going to a doctor. You want that doctor for life. Or if you somebody that's managing your financial wealth, you want that person for life. Same thing with the real estate agent. And a good real estate agent is find one that's relationship based. Mm-hmm. I think you exhibit that and have shared that with us today. So what geographic areas do you service as a buyer's agent?
So most specifically, we do Kingwood, Atascocita, Humble, New Caney, Porter. That's kind of like our hub of where we like to stay, especially with being a buyer's agent. You can sell a home anywhere, you can buy a home anywhere. If I feel like it's not in my comfort zone and I'm not going to be able to represent my client to the best of my ability because I don't know the area, I don't know the neighborhoods well enough, then at that point we'll start referring things out, because I'd rather do that than once again, have them end up with a home that they're not happy with, or a neighborhood that they're not happy with because of my lack of knowledge.
Awesome. So let's say they live outside the area. Maybe somebody's watching here on our live stream today, and they may know you from the past, and they want to reach out and connect you, maybe find some help, maybe in a different town or city. Are you still able to help them in some manner?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have, with being a part of the biggest brokerage in the world, we have numerous agents in the area at different brokerages that we have referral relationships with, and so can definitely hook them up with whatever location that they're needing to be in.
Okay, and what's your goal this year for the number of families that you personally help?
So my transaction number is to help at least 38 families this year.
And how's that going so far?
I am right at, I think it's either 50 or 53%.
Okay, so you're close. You're not too far off track.
Right.
Awesome. Well, that's exciting. I'm sure there might be some people here today that are watching that say, you know what, we're thinking about buying a home. Why not call Lindsey Smithson?
Yeah, I'd love to help whoever.
All right. Well, Lindsey, thank you for taking time out of your schedule today. And I trust that those that watch this maybe got something from it that's helped them either understand the industry better from the consumer side, or maybe they're currently in the industry and they've always wanted to know what exactly does a buyer's agent do. And so I appreciate you taking that time to share today, and hopefully, and I trust that somebody has learned something that'll help them. So thank you again, Lindsey, and thank you for those that are watching. If you have any questions about the coaching programs that I offer, make sure to check out my website posted below. Have a great day.